Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Doud here. Well, still not completely here, but I'm getting there. Thanks for the well wishes, by the way. Anyway, I've got the tech, you've got the ears, so let's make some magic, shall we? And boy, did Tristan wave his wands today. Get set for a magical ride. It is November 26, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. When you think about medical gadgets and gizmos, you probably don't think of Toshiba. Personally, I attribute Toshiba to more like robots for some reason. I mean, I had a Toshiba computer, but for some reason, it's kind of like Robbie the Robot for me. Weird. Anyway, Toshiba also likes to dip its toe into the medicinal waters, and boy did it pull off a beautiful swan dive with this one. Because Toshiba invented a desktop machine that can detect cancer in a single drop of blood. Specifically, it can detect 13 different types of cancer with 99% accuracy in under 2 hours for less than $200. Mind blown? Toshiba developed this machine together with the National Cancer Center Research Institute and Tokyo Medical University. It begins trials next year and hopes to commercialize the machine in the next few years. This machine tests specifically for the presence of and identifies particular microRNA sequences that are attributed to breast, prostate, bowel, ovarian, lung, liver, and other cancers, and includes sarcoma and glioma. It's your basic smorgasbord of death. And Tristan is quick to point out that a doctor friend of his lectured him that cancer is more complicated than just a type or a location, but this is the layman's version. If you want the gritty details, link in the show notes. It's also worth noting that 99% accuracy is mostly a PR term, since selectivity and sensitivity are measurements for this. But basically, what Toshiba is saying here is that this isn't a bulletproof test, or at least it's about as bulletproof as Cybertruck's Windows anyway. But Toshiba's goal here is to make this screening cost-effective enough to make it a part of normal annual health checkups in the hopes of catching cancer as early as possible, because with most cancers, earlier is better. I'm not a doctor, of course, but this is exciting for me. Cancer is a real f***er, and anything we can do to get rid of it for good is a win in my book. In this case, we're not getting rid of it, but we're also not waiting around until you feel a lump in a place that you shouldn't. And if it prevents prostate exams, well, let's just say this old guy is all for it. So while we try to wipe that pleasant image from your mind, let's head into the roundup! It's safe to say that Ryan Reynolds has range. He's made a name for himself playing the R-rated foul-mouthed Deadpool and the adorable Detective Pikachu. At the same time, he's been peddling his own brand of Aviator Gin, and now he's added an ownership stake in the NVNO Mint Mobile to his resume. Yes, Deadpool now owns a mobile carrier. Mint CEO David Glickman is excited to have Reynolds on board, especially for Reynolds' innovative marketing ideas. One recent example would be Ryan Reynolds advertising his gin inside a commercial advertising his upcoming Netflix movie, inside a commercial advertising Samsung TVs. Gotta love clever ad placement, don't you? Like, for example, mentioning that our sponsor, Minimal Case, link in the show notes, is going Black Friday and Cyber Monday crazy, offering 40% off your entire order this weekend. Link in the show notes. All the while talking about innovative advertising techniques. It's very clever. Link in the show notes. Alexa is coming to even more devices that are even cheaper as Amazon officially lowered specification requirements to just 1 megabyte of RAM and a Cortex-M processor, which are so cheap you can literally put them in toys. The idea here is that Amazon offloaded everything except wake word detection to the cloud. Here's a quote from Amazon's IoT VP Dirk, who has a last name I'm not even going to try. Dirk said, quote, "Now you don't need to identify where's my hub. You just speak to your environment and your environment can interact with you, because the real problem was we didn't have Alexa and enough stuff." Dirk went on to say, quote, "I think that's a massive step towards this ambient intelligence via Alexa, and come on, Dirk, you didn't just put the words Alexa and intelligence in the same sentence, did you?" One of the showstoppers at the Cybertruck event was a video showing the Cybertruck pulling a Ford F-150 as it spun its wheels. Well, Ford wants a rematch and tweeted to Elon asking for a Cybertruck so it can run an apples-to-apples test. Elon responded with, "Bring it on," because of course he did. Whether or not this will actually result in another video remains to be seen, but in the meantime, CEO sniping is one of my favorite hobbies. Facebook Viewpoints is a survey app that will pay you to take surveys and give your opinions. It's a little like Google Opinion Rewards, but the points don't expire. Plus, you get real money, or actually PayPal money, which is kind of like real money. How it works is you sign up with your Facebook account, because of course you do, and you take surveys, and you accrue points which pay out to PayPal when you hit certain milestones. If you have a Facebook account, it's worth a shot. Facebook already knows everything else about you, may as well give it your opinions too. Orba is a new Kickstarter project, and I agree with Tristan here. I almost never promote Kickstarter projects. Not like I promote 40% off minimal cases. Anyway, link in the show notes. But the Orba looks like a pretty nifty little music device. It's a little hard to describe, but it's basically a synthesizer and loop machine the size of a baseball that has touch controls, motion tracking, and more, and allows you to make music. I have to say that I would totally be in on this if I had the ability to compose loop music on the fly. It's just a talent I never had. I'm not saying you should back it, but it already doubled its goal, so it's at least possible it'll actually see the light of day. And finally, 4 workers at Google recently tried to unionize. 2 of them were put on leave, and then all 4 were eventually fired. And is that a crappy thing to do? Yes, but that prompted a Medium post about the whole thing, which laid out how Google has changed certain policies recently, making it a fireable offense to read certain documentation around the company, but then explicitly saying that the document doesn't have to be labeled as restricted. Like, don't sit on the special benches. Well, which ones are special? The special ones! Anyway, so yeah, that's also kind of crappy. But the part of this article that stood out to me the most and made me giggle a little bit was the ending paragraph, which reads, quote, "They think this will crush our efforts, but it won't. For every one they retaliate against, there are hundreds of us who will fight, and together we will win. One of the most powerful companies in the world wouldn't be retaliating against us if collective action didn't work. Signed, Anonymous." That'll show 'em. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.